In the previous lecture, we seen how easy it is to crack WEP. All we had to do is capture enough data and then run aircrack-ng to crack the encryption and give me the key. Now, one problem that we could face is if the network is not busy. If it's not busy, then the number of data will be increasing very slowly. Therefore, we're gonna have to wait for a while before we have enough data to crack the key. So let me show you an example. I'm just gonna run aerodump-ng here and list all the networks around me. And you can see I have my test network, my test AP in here. It's using web. And if you look under the data, you'll see that it's at 0 and it's not increasing. And even if it's going to increase, it's going to increase very slowly. Which means that I'm going to have to be waiting for hours before I can crack this network. So a solution to this is to force the AP to generate new packets with new IVs. Now, before doing this, we need to associate with this network. So what I mean by associate is we need to tell this network that we want to communicate with it, because by default, access points ignore any requests they get unless the device has connected to this network or associated with it. So don't get this mixed up with connecting. We're still unable to connect to the network because we need the password to be able to connect to the network. But what we're doing right now is literally just telling the target network, look, I want to communicate with you. Don't ignore my requests. That's all we're doing. So it's something similar to what happens when you just click on the network when you want to connect to it. You still haven't put the password, you're just telling the target network, I want to communicate with you, please don't ignore me. So in this lecture, I'm going to show you how to associate with the target network so we can communicate with it. And in the next lecture, I'm going to show you how once associated, we can inject packets into the network and force the number of data to increase very quickly. First, I'm going to run aerodump-ng against my target network, which has this BSSID. So I'm going to copy it. And we're going to use the exact same command that we've been using so far. So we're going to do aerodump-ng --BSSID followed by the MAC address of my target --channel followed by the channel which my target is running on, which is 6. And we're going to store all of this. So we're going to do --write and we'll call this file ARP replay because that's the name of the attack. And then I'm going to put my wireless adapter in monitor mode, which is mon0. So a very simple command that we've done before. We're using aerodump-ng to capture data from a network with this MAC address running on this channel. We're storing everything in a file called ARP replay. I'm gonna hit enter, and as you can see, it's running against my target. And notice the data is increasing really slow, or it's actually not increasing at all right now. Now, to associate with this network, we're going to use a program called areplay-ng. So we're going to type areplay-ng followed by --fake auth because we want to do a fake authentication attack. We're going to put 0 because we only want to do this once. We're going to do -a to specify the MAC address of the target network. So I'm going to paste it. I've already copied it. Then we're going to do -h to specify the MAC address of my wireless adapter. And to get the MAC address of my wireless adapter, I'm going to do ifconfig. And it's the first 12 digits of the unspec field. Usually, you'd see it after the ether, but when you enable monitor mode, it'll show up like so. So I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste it here. And I'm going to replace the minuses with colons. And that's it. It's done. And finally, I'm just going to give the name of my wireless adapter in monitor mode. So a very simple command, we're using AirPlay-ng, which is a tool that can be used to run a number of attacks, and we've seen using this with the deauthentication attack. We're telling it that we want to run a fake authentication attack. We want to do this once. We're giving it the MAC address of my target network after the A. Then I'm giving it the MAC address of my wireless adapter after the H. And finally, I'm giving it my wireless adapter in monitor mode. Now, before I run this, notice in here under the auth, we have nothing, and we don't have any clients showing up in here at the bottom. Now, if I hit enter, you can see under the auth, it's showing up as open, and you can see we have a new client here associated with the network. If you look in here, you'll see this is the MAC address of my target network, and right here is the MAC address of my wireless adapter. So right now I am associated with the target network, and if I send it anything, it's going to accept it and it's going to communicate with me. Again, I am not connected to the network. I still can't use the internet. I'm literally just associated with the network so I can communicate with it. Now, in the next lecture, I'm going to show you how we can communicate with this network in a way to force it into generating new packets with new IVs, which will allow us to crack the key very, very quickly.